Hello and welcome to Forever Rugby on Forever Sport. And today we're going to be doing a team of the Test series between the British and Irish Lions and the Springboks. Waking up today as Test series victors. Must have been pretty nice for the Springboks. World champions. They've now beaten the British and Irish Lions. They're heading into the Rugby Championship, which they don't currently hold despite winning the last one. They actually were in, so they'll be trying to get that trophy back. But it's a fantastic year so far already for the Springboks, and really, really important achievement as well, given all the difficulties they had within the build-up of the tour itself. So massive congratulations to the Springboks, to the Lions. You know, it was a really good series. A lot of people saying that it was boring and rugby was terrible and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, you know, it's test match rugby, and if you can't enjoy, if you looked at those three tests and you can't find anywhere to enjoy it, you obviously just don't enjoy rugby. You know, at the end of the day, rugby union is different league for a reason. And whilst maybe we don't always like the kicking games, we don't always like the big physicality part of it. That's the reality, and you can't really complain about a system that has won 3 World Cups, several rugby championships, and 2 Lion series in the last, 20 years odd. So it works at the end of the day, and it worked again this weekend. And I also think to expect a team who had just one Test match since 2019 to suddenly now be able to throw together, a very expansive, free-flowing game. You know, it takes a little while to be able to sort of get to that stage. So I don't think it was ever going to be a possibility for the Springboks. They just didn't have the time nor the preparation. It's a bit like the Lions. They don't have a long time together. They get thrown together for 2-3 months and then that's it. So I think the more you look at that, the more you can understand why they went to the tactics, because it is slightly easier to pull off and very, very effective. But today we're going to be selecting a 15 for the best performers across the 3 tests. It was quite a difficult decision, I must admit. Quite a few players who could have been a couple of controversial calls maybe. So I'm very interested to see what you guys think of the team down in the comments below. So please do smash a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. Hopefully we'll be hitting 5,000 subscribers in the next day or two, which is really, really exciting. Just want to say thank you to everybody who's been with us for the journey. We'll be wrapping up our tour coverage on Tuesday night, where we'll be doing a British and Irish Lions Series Awards. I'm going to be looking at the best moments, best players, best worst moments, most memorable moments, stuff like that. And we'll be giving out a couple of awards live on Tuesday. Come and hang out. But moving on to our team. Right, so you're starting with the front row. And one of the props that didn't play, he only started 1 game, came off at 2. But I've got at Lucid with Trevor Inyakane. And it was quite a big call to put him in there ahead of, Steven Kitshoff. But because he didn't play as much. But at the end of the day, Trevor Inyakane started at tight head in the first test, played a brilliant half, ran well, tackled well, scrummed very well, won a turnover, was really good. He came off into the second test in the second half and was brutal in the scrums, winning penalties, and was part of the major shift which gave the Springboks the victory. And yesterday, once again, came on and had a huge impact for the Springboks. I don't think there's anybody else who had as big an impact across the minutes they played than Trevor across the series. I think if we're being very honest, was anybody as influential with such few minutes in the series? I think you put him as one of the most influential players across the series for in both teams, and yet he only started 1 game and sort of got 30 minutes in the other 2. So big congrats to Trevor. I think he just was terrific when he came on. For the hooker, I've gone with Luke Cowan-Dickie. I think he was probably the most consistent across the 3 tests. Ken Owens, I think, was a little bit disappointing on his start yesterday. Cowan-Dickie didn't have his best moments, but I thought Bongi Banambi also had a bit of an up and down series. Had some good moments, had some bad moments. Was pretty poor yesterday. Was better in the first sort of test. Malcolm Marx had a very good impact off the bench, but I just thought that overall, I thought Luke Cowan-Dickie was probably the most consistent hooker across the 3 matches. And then at tight head, also a little bit controversial when I've I flipped a coin. I couldn't really decide where to go. But I've gone with Tyke Furlong, so I think he was just very, very solid across the couple of tests. Under a little bit of pressure at some stages, but genuinely was pretty good. Probably could have opted a little bit more to open play, but he did his job. He made his tackles. I don't think he missed too many tackles across the series, and he was very good. I put him against Frans Malherbe, and I think the thing that probably counted against Frans Malherbe was probably the really poor first test he had. Came back really strong in the second test. I thought was pretty solid again yesterday. But I think overall, and also I was trying to find a place where can I put some more Lions players in, because I think it is quite a Springbok-dominated team. So that is one of the areas where I thought that, it was quite a 50-50 call, so I decided, we'll put Tyke Furlong in there. But a big shout out to Frans Malherbe, because I thought he was immense in the last 2 tests. The lock combination, I've gone with Mari Itoje and Eben Etzebeth. I don't think we can debate that too much. They were at each other quite a lot. Mari Itoje had a stormy first test. I think he was probably the Lions' best player across the 3 tests. Stood up a lot of times. A couple of penalties yesterday kind of crept back into his game, an area of his game which a lot of people have said he needs to get rid of. And then Eben Etzebeth, I thought, just sort of grew in stature in the series itself. And I thought it was very impressive. Yes, I thought he was potential man of the match. Made some very important contributions yesterday, and seems to be getting back to his best. In terms of the loose trio, number 6, it has to be the captain of the team, Siamthanda Kolisi. What a captain! What a player! Somebody who was once again doubted before the beginning of the series, talking about form, talking about is he there for the right reasons? Why is he the captain? Well, for somebody who's had to silence more and more doubters, again, he's done it in abundance, and surely this is the time where you cannot question him anymore. World Cup winning captain, Lions Series winning captain. All the talk about what Duane Vermeulen was the real captain of the World Cup. There was no Duane Vermeulen across these 3 tests. There was no Pieter-Steph du Toit in the final test. There was no Faf de Klerk in the final test. And yet Siya Kolisi put in 3 storming performances, particularly that second test where we needed it the most. That try-saving tackle, the rucks he hit, the physicality he brought. The way he was playing, I thought yesterday's captaincy was brilliant in terms of the way he was playing the referee, the way he was getting under the skin of the Lions. We saw a little bit of a different side of him yesterday. It wasn't always no one but Mr. Nice Guy. It was a bit of sort of gamesmanship against the Lions, and I was really, really impressed with what he's done. Maybe championship he's becoming like the John Smith, isn't he? We're pretty much putting him on the same sort of pedestal where they're just, 2 of the most successful captains in rugby history, let alone South African history. Number 7, I've gone with Franco Mostert. I'm sure people were sort of wondering, how can you not put Franco Mostert in the locks? Well, I've cheated a little bit, and I've put him in at number 7. Arguably, probably in my opinion, the player of the series. He was tremendous, just immense from minute 1 until, the last minute of the last test. Yesterday, practically breaking his nose, going off, coming back. He was brilliant. And Pieter-Steph du Toit went off, and they always said, how do we fill the void? Franco Mostert did that in abundance. I think we could very well have our number 7 sorted for Pieter-Steph du Toit still injured for the next couple of weeks because he looked so comfortable there. His work rate is unmatched. His engine is unmatched. He's a brilliant, brilliant player. I'm so glad he's starting to get the plaudits for what he does. And at 8th man, I've gone with Jack Conan, who's just the most consistent 8th man across the series. I think Kwagga Smith had some good moments, but he was moved across quite a lot. I thought Jasper Wiese struggled at times. I think that we've got potential in a player there, but somebody who needs to work a little bit on his soft skills, and he'll get there, I'm hoping. But you can't fault Jack Conan across any 3 tests. Maybe he wasn't blockbuster, but he made his tackles. He carried it up. He was solid under the high ball. He just doesn't do anything wrong. He's such a consistent performer, and I was really impressed with what we saw from him. So I don't think there's any argument that he was the best standout number 8 across the 3 tests. Scrum off, I've gone with Ali Price, actually. I thought was very good in the first test, and I thought was very good yesterday. I thought Faf de Klerk had if he had played yesterday and put in a really good performance, probably could have edged him. But I don't think Conor Murray was particularly good. I thought Kobus Reinach struggled a little bit. Herschel Youngster didn't play much, and I just thought that Ali Price, who I don't even think was going to be in the 23 a couple of months ago, but on the back of a very good Six Nations, was once again pretty good yesterday, apart from a couple of bad moments. And I thought he was fantastic in the first test. So he gets the nod for the number 9. And then the number 10 was quite a hard pick. And it could only be Morné Steyn, can't it be? And that's the reality. No, it's not. I'd love to do it to Morné Steyn, but you can't really give somebody on for 60 minutes of play across the 24, I think it was. No, it's actually less than that. It was about 15 minutes of play across the 3 tests. So it's probably going to be Andre Pollard. His goal kicking wasn't maybe the best, but Dan Biggar also missed a couple. Finn Russell, I think if he had played the entire series with the way he played yesterday, would have walked this, but only played 1 game. So Pollard was probably the most consistent performer. But ironically, I mean, what's quite weird is I don't think we really saw too many standout flower performances across the series, except for Finn Russell yesterday. I think Pollard was very solid, but maybe not at his best. I thought Dan Biggar was again, also quite solid, but also probably not at his best. They definitely grew in there. I thought Pollard was quite good in other aspects. His goal kicking let him down a little bit. But he was probably the best number 10 across all 3 tests. And then the wings, it has to be Makazole Mapimpi and Cheslin Kolbe. Makazole Mapimpi was the man of the match in the second test, was absolutely immense. Very quiet yesterday, but by virtue of the fact that we didn't even see Duane van der Merwe yesterday. He did play all 3 tests, but didn't really see him. Stuart Hogg and Anthony wasn't getting dropped and stuff like that. Cheslin Kolbe was the man of the match yesterday. Scored the important try. It has to be those two. I don't think there can be too many arguments about that. Cheslin Kolbe didn't get a lot of opportunity, but he made it count yesterday. And in terms of the midfield, right inside centre, David Ndayalendi picks himself the Lions kept having to change the centre combination because they couldn't settle on one. Bundee Aki had a chance yesterday, but Damian de Allende, just a human wrecking ball, really good ball carrier, fantastic at the breakdown. He's just growing from strength to strength and becoming a world class operator, as is the outside centre of the series. Lukhanyo also potentially probably the best backline player across both teams across the entire series. He's just absolutely world class. Reads the game like a book. So intelligent. The way he defends, the way he attacks, the way he moves. A very subtle personality, but very, very good leader. Knows when to talk. Doesn't say a lot, but knows what to say when he does. And he's just becoming. I think those two, as a lot of people are saying, are arguably the best centre combination in World Rugby. And this tour really did show that. The fact that the Lions, we didn't see anything from their centres really. They chopped and changed quite a bit, trying to find a way to break down these two and make a difference, but they just couldn't because Damian de Allende and Lukhanyo were just too good. At fullback, it probably has to be Willie le Roux. Probably the weakest position of both teams. I thought Stuart Hogg was all right the first test, struggled a little bit in the second test. He did get dropped, and I thought Liam Williams wasn't great yesterday. Willie le Roux, I don't think it was the best test series ever, but was pretty consistent, and had more effect, and he was very good yesterday in the try that we scored. So it was a very big moment from him. But he's a very important player, and I think we don't often see what his contributions are, because a lot of it comes with his communication, with the way he reads the game. So, just for consistency, it has to be Willie le Roux at fullback. So if we look at the team, that is how it lines up across the board. So if we're looking at it, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 South Africans and 6 Lions players. Only one Lions player in the back line and a couple of Lions players in the scrum, which I think makes sense. I think the pack battle was very interesting. I think Courtney Lawes was quite a good across a couple of tests. It probably deserves a special mention, but not as good as I thought that at Franco Mostert and Siya Kolisi. And you had to try and find a way to putting in the 3 locks, because the locks we saw a lot of locks across the entire competition. I mean, really, you think a piece that the Toyas converted lock. Courtney Lawes can play at lock. We saw Franco Mostert, who is a lock, playing on the flank. Luat Diallo, I thought was very good for the time he had as well. But that's what I've gone with. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. Smash a like on the video. Do subscribe to the channel and come join us on Tuesday night for our Lions Awards evening. We will also be launching our new brand collaboration. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. My name is Stephen, and I'll chat to you guys all very soon.